Hey everybody, this is David. Thank you so much for taking the time to fill out the survey and to make sure that you know exactly what we're doing with this process. So last year we went through this exercise to try and map out where our ministry was. And this is the graph that we ended up coming up with. And it's split into 4 sections: accelerating, booming, peaking, and tanking. And this is where all of our stuff ended up last year. This isn't the actual one we did last year. We did it on the board, but I decided to do the survey because I really want us to focus most of our time on our 2 or 3 goals that we want to go after this year. And so I'm going to get all the information still from the survey, but I just wanted to go through this. So last year we took a look at all the things that we were doing. I had been here for about a year at the time, and we wanted to see where are we at with our ministry stuff. So we had just gotten brand new Bibles that had just come in, so we were addressing that. So that was in the accelerating because it was something that we're doing something about, and it was something that we felt like was having some good traction. It was at the bottom, but we were addressing it. So things like the elementary events, the room decorating, baptism was down here, and communications. And I'd say the baptism thing has moved solidly into somewhere on this booming spectrum because the class has 9 kids coming to it this month, and I think it's just on its way up. And so communication was like right on that line. So if you're thinking about something that you think is accelerating, something that we're addressing, but that isn't in that like sweet spot up here, anywhere in these 2 quadrants is something that we would consider like just killing it. So anything that isn't killing it quite yet, but we see we're getting some momentum and some traction, you're going to mark accelerating. Anything that you think that is something new and something that is just really killing it, really hitting it, we're going to put in the booming section. And those are things like the tribe guides last year, check-in, because we had a brand new check-in process at the time, so it was right there on the line kind of as well. And then we had worship, and I'd say this is probably true for our 1st and 2nd graders, but I don't know about our 3rd and 4th grade worship. And our videos go up here. And so I don't know where that is, all this stuff is this year, but these are things that we thought were just doing a great job last year. Now, these are things that we thought were doing a pretty good job, but we're probably getting close to their life cycle. And we had nothing on this because I had been here for a year at that point, and the things that I was able to address were all the things that I thought were of first importance, which I was proud of, ended up on this side of the line. But then, so things that you think are really good, hitting kids really well, but might be on their way down, that's where we can put in the peaking zone. And then finally, the tanking zone. Things that we know are not going well and that we need to address. So those things last year were the amount of time that we had. And I don't know what we're going to do with that because we're not really going to change the time frame of church right now. But that was something to do. 1st and small group sword drills were on here. So we've kind of not done sword drills with 1st and 2nd graders because they don't know how to read this year. So that was something we X'd out. 3rd and 4th grade memory verses. We did some stuff with 3rd and 4th grade with their packet and things that might have changed where that goes on this spectrum. And then a 2nd hour option. And we said this was at the low end of our list because we didn't know what to do. We took a look at it, and this was one of our 3 things last year that we felt like were really important for us as a ministry to address. And we took a look at it, we had our elders take a look at it, and we said, there's nowhere around that is doing this and doing this well. So we just decided to kill that idea of a 2nd option, and we're just doing 1 option at both services so that services are consistent. And then last we had offering down here. So I don't know where this stuff is this year, but I think it's important for us to do this every year. As much as it hurts me and kills me sometimes, I think it's important because I want our ministry to be as good as possible. So when you take a look at what you're doing this year and how you're filling it out, make sure you're accelerating things or go where accelerating things go, because these look different. Because if we're addressing them, then they go over here. And these are kind of hard to discern, but if we just think something is just doing so well, we don't see an end to it, in life cycle, or we think that's a far way off, then we're going to put it in booming. But if we think that it's kind of peaked, it's kind of hitting really well, but we can see an end point for it, we're going to put that over here. And we're just thinking about things on Sunday morning. Some of the other stuff that we're doing, I mean, we do have elementary events, so if you think that some of our camps or things like that are doing a really good job, we can move that around this year. But that's the thing I love about this. So make sure that you fill it out with those things in mind, and then things that we think are just man, I don't know what we're doing with these things anymore, but we need to address them. Put them down here because these will probably be the things that rise to the top of my list this year. So thank you guys for investing in that, and I'll make sure that I make a list just like this once we get all the feedback back in and take a look at where we're at this year. So thank you guys, and make sure to fill this out. Thank you for investing in kids. Bye.